Hello, everybody. This is me, Amin,
And this Alex.
and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. And in this episode, we're going to wrap up the year. So it's been an interesting year. And spoiler alert, this will be the last episode of Let's Talk About for 2021. So a lot of things have been happening. This year we started operations in our new office. We have this brand new studios, or we have three brand new studios that you guys can rent if you want. Can come over and check it out. And that has allowed our team to create a lot of amazing content. So if you haven't already, you can check out some of the seriously super good stuff that the team has been churning out on our channel, and you guys should spend some time and check it out and let us know what you think. So it's almost a year. It's November now, or December by the time this show comes out, and a lot of things has been happening. As I mentioned, I hope you guys are feeling safe and healthy and recovering and waiting for the day when we go into this post-pandemic era, or when we are officially in the endemic period of COVID-19. Hopefully by next year things will become better, and we can start seeing each other again. But in the meantime, a lot of things have been happening in terms of the tech industry. There's been lots of phone launches, lots of device launches, in general, lots of developments. So what has happened in 2021 that caught our attention in terms of technology? I'll go to Alex. So what grabbed your attention this year?
I think we'll start off with smartphones first. I think generally there's nothing significant in terms of the standard phones. I mean, all the phones look the same these days, right? I mean, faster phones,
better processor, 5G, bigger battery,
high refresh rate screens and all that.
Better cameras, better, but not significantly better than what we've seen in the past few years. Because last time we see the giant leap in terms of like super zoom or super night mode and super bokeh and all that stuff. But this year, nothing much in that space. But what stood out for me would be the foldable devices, especially the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 and the Z Flip 3. Because for the first time, I think these foldable devices are more attainable, especially for the Z Flip 3, because you get a pretty good flagship device with a foldable screen, which is now water resistant, and you can get it for under 4,000 ringgit. So about the same price as an iPhone. It's not like this mythical super expensive it's
phone.
It's not 11,000 or
8,000, 9,000. Yeah. Even the Galaxy Z Fold 3, it still costs about 6,000 plus, but it's so much better than before. And it now supports the S Pen, so it can do so much more. So that's what I say for the smartphone segment. And I think next will be in terms of processors. So as you know, Intel has always been the butt of all jokes, right? Compared to AMD.
So I mean, AMD has really upped their game. They've come from behind to take over Intel, especially in the budget and performance segment. So what the hell has Intel been doing?
So recently they announced their 12th gen Alder Lake processor. So for the first time, for the desktop processor is running on a 10 nanometer process. And what's interesting is that they has adopted something similar to smartphone processor. So they've done something like a big little architecture. So you have like high performance processor and efficient efficient processors, efficient cores. So that actually improves the overall performance and all that, and it looks like they have really make a big jump. Because previously, as you know, they've been making like 14 nanometer process, and then it's like, okay, next year slightly better, slight tweaks.
They haven't done 10 nanometers. I think AMD went to 12 or something like that.
So this for desktop is 10. So laptops they've done 10 before. So for desktop, this person they do 10 nanometers, and based on the benchmarks, looks like they're making a big leap compared to the best of AMDs. So looks like Intel has woken up from their slumber, and looks like they are back in the game.
So are we seeing any new computers with this new big little processor thingy-majiggy?
12 nanometers, I think we're seeing more next year, because it just announced like last month.
Yeah, but it's still a far cry. So it's a completely different approach from what you see. Is it the same as what Apple is doing with the M1?
Yep, you can say that. So there's efficiency cost and performance cost and all that.
So it's a mobile processor?
So right now the announcement is for desktop. So eventually I would say that mobile will catch on.
I mean, in the future, that means computer processors could also be powering phone Phones in general, like you know how what Apple is doing, right? So the M1 is kind of like a mobile processor. It's ARM based, right?
Yes, right.
So I mean that paints kind of like opens the road for all their devices to eventually just run on one processor. I mean, you know, if you don't count costs and stuff, like obviously the computer processors are more expensive than the mobile processors or the other way around in terms of the cost.
I don't think Intel's going to back to mobile because they sold the mobile division, member. But what we can see that you can expect more power efficient processors with better performance finally. Yeah, not like the Intel that we used to know today.
Yeah, but you know, if Intel doesn't go back to mobile, because there's like huge growth there, right? And that's why I think that's like a topic for another discussion. But I do agree with you. I mean, this year the one thing that grabbed my attention, and I think that's good that you pointed out, is like the lack of really game-changing changes in the mobile phone segment, in the smartphone segment. I think there are over what 50 phones that's been launched this year.
Definitely more than that. Like I think like for the likes of Xiaomi and Realme, it looks like they're launching a new phone for every mega cell. Remember back in the day we always have like maybe 2 or 3 mega cells, like 10, 11 and 12. Now we have like
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, looks like that's going to be a trend. Every month there's always a sale.
Yeah.
And when there's a sale, I think these smartphone manufacturers will just launch a device. Even Samsung's on it as well. They always launch like an obscure Galaxy M series just for the online sales.
Okay, I think it's a race to the bottom because there's just too many phones and people are like, what which one should I get? And because they're so noisy, right? I think what's going to happen is people will just tend to gravitate towards brands that they're familiar with, whether it's a Samsung or iPhone or maybe to a certain extent Xiaomi. I don't know about the Oppos and Vivos of the world because to me still they are very quite obscure. But then you know I'm a different segment compared to like you know value buys and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. But yeah, but then again the challenge is you can't really see a lot changing in smartphones.
Yeah, and you can see this whole trend, right? It's taking a toll on big brands. Like look at Samsung right now. So it used to be they have 2 flagship launches per year. Even OnePlus has it. So if you notice now, I think they're cutting down on the frequency. So instead of having the Galaxy S and Galaxy Note, so they've killed the Galaxy Note completely right now. So for the second half of the year, they launched the Galaxy Fold series. Even OnePlus used to have like a OnePlus 9, OnePlus 9T and all that. So this year we only have OnePlus 9 and there's no 9T model. So they're going to focus on the OnePlus 10 that's coming out next year. So you can see the trend that's happening right now. So for flagship device, used to be 2 flagship launch per year. Now they're taking just 1 per year. Just make one good phone that can last for the whole year.
Yeah, well, because you know, I think the margins for that are lower. They're focusing on the mass segment where there's a lot more amortization. There's a lot more recycling of
more
old technology, and there's more volume, right? So generally, let's say displays or processors we cannot say lah, but you know there's a lot of like using back what the previous flagship has been using, and it trickles down to the lower end of the segment. The benefit of that is like, you know, you guys, those who are looking for value purchases, there's a huge ton of choices, but huge tons of options. But the problem is options do not lead to choices because you have different phones, but they are all kind of like the same.
Yeah, especially like, okay, speaking about devices that's under 1,000 ringgit, especially 5G phones. You can see most of them, right? They have very similar specs. A MediaTek 700, 800 processor, 6.5 inch screen with 90 Hz refresh rate, mostly 5,000 mAh battery. They have either a 48 or 50 megapixel cameras. Like, they're all the same. I mean, they're don't get me wrong, they're all pretty good.
Really good phones.
Good phones for less than 1,000 ringgit with 5G.
90 Hz display.
Full
Some
HD.
of them you get AMOLED, you know. Really good. I mean, okay, the cameras are good, big battery, fast charging. There's really not much else you would need or want.
Yeah.
But all of them are the same.
About the same, yeah. And then and a few months later, there's going to be a newer one, which is much better, and most of them
slightly newer one.
And most of them we have pretty much similar specs.
Yeah, similar.
It's very templated, if you ask me.
Yeah. I mean, it's just confusing for people. I guess they just want to drive the sales number. So I don't know whether this is going to be the trend. I hope it's not. But let's move on. So it's funny that you mentioned a 5G. I think and this is something we didn't discuss, but I want to bring it into the show as well. So the other highlight or low light of the year is 5G. Okay, so what the hell happened?
So 5G, just to recap, so Malaysia has decided to take a very odd approach. So instead of having it led by the private sector, so the government decided to dip its toes in the telco industry. So 5G will be like a state-led run initiative. So it's going to be deployed by Digital National Berhad, which is a single wholesale network that's owned by the Ministry of Finance. So they're going to be deploying it. And other telcos like your Maxis, Digi, Celcom, Digi, U Mobile, Yes, and all that, they will get 5G services through a wholesale agreement. So basically, they're like the MVNOs.
They have to like buy from DNB.
Yeah, it's like wholesale. It's like kind of like how Tune Talk and UDO works.
Yep.
You don't own a network, you just rent from another infrastructure provider.
Yep.
So that's how it works. So the plan was to launch 5G services by the end of this year.
No, that wasn't the plan. The earlier plan was, what was it? It was supposed to be much earlier, right?
That was
before DNB existed.
That was even before the current government existed. So the original, under the Pakatan Harapan government, the plan was to launch 5G in Q3 2020. And that was supposed to be done through a consortium, which is owned by private companies. So privately led. But now it's going to be like a state-run initiative that's run by DNB.
It's okay. So for me, what I find interesting. Okay, so first of all, they are planning to launch something by the end of this year. We are already in November. There's less than a month because December is a short month. Everybody's just going to go on holiday. Apparently, no telco has signed up yet. For any agreement. Apparently, no announcement has been made. The loudest talker about 5G has always been DNB. Other operators have kind of like say, okay, we're ready for 5G, but
nothing solid.
Happened. This DNB, the people, I don't know, the track record or I mean,
don't get me wrong, I think they're
kind
all
of sus.
I would say that most of the management on DNB, they are all industry veterans. They are veterans.
So they are veterans, but because they are veterans and they have experience and relationships with all of the other telcos, I don't know whether they whose interests are they looking out for?
Basically, they are, in a way, you can say they're government servants because how DNB is run, they say they're not profit oriented. So basically, they're on a cost recovery mode. So basically, the government is basically, okay, I give you the spectrum, you just deploy 5G, not for making money, to cover the country at these certain targets, and you sell it at wholesale. But for me, the issue with that is that because it's state run, right?
What's the motivation, right?
What's the motivation? And number two, what's number two is, if let's say something goes wrong, who do you point? Who do you point? Who's gonna pick up blame? And also, have you seen any successful government-led initiatives? I mean, like in terms of
let's go down that road, right? So I think one of the biggest failures, I think you mentioned this to me, was the Australian national broadband network, right? So they wanted to fiberize. It was an ambitious project. They wanted to fiberize the whole of Australia, or at least the population area of Australia. They wanted to invest like billions into this thing, and it would take. So when they started it, it would take like 3 years, 2 years. It's going to be done in like record time. Deliver the best services,
fiber to your home.
Fiber straight to your home. Cost the least amount of money because it's run by the government. In the end, it didn't even. It went over budget. It didn't deliver its promise, and it was overdue for so long. I think it was until this year, right? They started it or something.
And also because of the change of government, so initially it was supposed to be fiber to the home. They changed the plan. Okay, let's go fiber to the node. So I just put the fiber here. Then the rest you kau team lah.
You figure it out lah.
You figure it out, and then of course LPO complained. So it's a very bad experience. It's actually costs more than the normal deployment. So going back to this single wholesale network, so a lot of people have been criticized, like, why is the government getting these toes into the telco business?
Why would they want to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean,
how is it better, right?
How is it better? Because the private companies, they're saying that they are ready to deploy on their own, the traditional way. And also, other countries who have tried a single wholesale network have failed. Like countries like Russia.
Has there not been a success story for this?
No, there's no clear success story about
Malaysia
this.
would be number one.
I mean, it's possible, but the thing is the risk involved.
Boleh.
Yeah. And of course, there's always argument, the 4G network sucks, so, we had to do something different to change it. But the thing is, Okay, all
the reason why the 4G network sucks is because regulators not doing their job.
Yeah, I mean that's right. So if the problem is regulation, which means that you're not enforcing the telcos to deliver what they promise, how do you expect a government entity, a government agency, to regulate a government agency? How does that work? If let's say you fine DNB, right? Who's gonna pay the fines? Us,
the people,
because it's a tax, it's a government public utility.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't know. So okay. Is there going to be a 5G network in Malaysia by the end of this year?
I would say DNB will probably have the network ready, but whether the telcos are on board is a different question altogether. Because you have a network ready, but if you have no customers, basically the telcos, no one's going to get a service.
Okay, secondly, is 5G a big deal?
I would say it's a big deal for the industry. We have been behind other countries. For me, 5G, the benefit is not much to the consumers. It's more for the industries.
Yeah.
To enable automation, especially low latency and high capacity. We can actually enable more IoT solutions out there, and you can do stuff like remote surgery. I can enable smart cities because if you use it on 4G, it will work, but probably it doesn't have the capacity to do so.
Yeah, it's groundbreaking in a way that so a lot of people have been talking about 5G like it's gonna be faster, it's gonna be better, it's gonna be blah 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 blah.
You can stream 1080p YouTube videos.
I don't like talking about 5G that way because that's not the promise of 5G. You can get almost the same speed, and doesn't mean more speed means better internet. It doesn't mean that way. I mean, if you're in a good coverage, you get pretty good internet. Okay, maybe gamers want this low latency thing, but it's not everybody, and it's not mass. What I would like to talk about when it comes to 5G is that how game-changing it can be for, let's say, for example, if all of your cars are connected to each other and the traffic system, right? Essentially, we can know how to manage traffic better. Our navigation system can route us better because they know traffic in real time. Because right now, Waze might not know our location in real time or other cars' location. They maybe know it like 5 minutes or 1 minute before, and that 1 minute difference can be a difference between a traffic jam and not. So imagine if all your cars are connected. They know where each other, where everybody is. The traffic light is. So the traffic light can better show where greens are. It's imagine a city where there's no traffic, and it's possible because of 5G because everybody's talking to each other in real time. I think that's the biggest for me. I think a trafficless future is like I would like that.
Yeah, and also another thing would be in terms of smart cities as well. Imagine every single parking lot there's a sensor, every single CCTV is connected to the cloud, and it's not just about CCTV because anyone can record footages live, but it's connected to like a AI cloud solution. So if, for example, you can detect potential crime or certain individuals who are wanted, it can be done automatically. So you don't need human intervention for that. And also another one that's interesting would be like remote applications. So imagine you can work in a construction site, controlling excavator at home in your pajamas.
That could be one thing. For me, it's like location lah. So okay, let me bring it to like a real world scenario. iPhone or Android, right? So if you lost your phone, right, you go like, where's my phone? And then you try to ping the Find My or Android whatever, right? You try to look for your phone, right? And it feels like real time because when you're calling it, it's coming back. It feels like real time because you're doing that now, and that data is coming back to you now. So it feels like real time to you. But the thing is, it will only ping back to you when the last location, right? The last location. So if somebody turned it off, you won't get it. But having real time connectivity means the device will always ping its location all the time. So
it's more responsive.
Yeah. So I mean, that to me is a game changer. If you want to take care of your phones, your cars, your kids, your pets, this is huge, right? So the sad part for me when it comes to 5G is that we were leading. Malaysia was a leader in the region. Just 2 years ago?
Yeah, because we've done a lot of demonstration tests and all that. We've made a lot of progress in terms of testing integration. Back in 2019, and 2020 is like, okay, this is it. We are set to launch. We're supposed to be ahead of other nations, and sadly, right now, even experienced 5G, you can roam in Singapore, Thailand, and Indonesia. Our neighbors beat us to the punch. And that's disappointing.
Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam. We're just waiting for Cambodia, Macau. What was it called? That country?
Which one?
Cambodia?
Cambodia, okay, this country, yeah.
No, there's another country. Yeah, okay. What I'm trying to say is like, okay, we are waiting for all of the other countries in Asia, in ASEAN, to turn on their 5G before we turn on our 5G.
But DNB said that we will be able to leapfrog the other nations because they target to hit 80% coverage by 2024.
How are they going to do it?
Well, they said, through network sharing and all that. So there's a big ambition. Whether they can pull it off or not, that's a whole different question.
We've learned that lesson in the Australian example. Alex mentioned that there are no success cases
for this model
for this what's it called, single wholesale network model, and apparently the DNB will also resort to renting from infrastructure from whatever the telcos have already built. So what I don't know. That's kind of like a low light, highlight. I don't know. So we'll move away from mobile and computers. I think that's pretty much it. We did talk about things like computers. Okay, I think Zachary mentioned that the new MacBook Pros now come with MagSafe. Yay.
It's like suddenly having HDMI port, SD card slot is like, wow.
Innovation, right? So it's good that they brought back the slots and ports.
It's like they have just realized that because you know how MacBook, Apple try to, okay, let's keep it simple, just have one port or two ports. This
because
USB-C
everybody's
ports.
going to be wireless. Everybody's going to have all their data in the cloud, and they're going to not need SD cards and stuff for that. But no.
they bring back SD card, which is like, wow. They brought back HDMI port, the full-size HDMI port, and also brought back MagSafe, which is their old charging technology, which is
everybody loved.
Yeah, everybody loved.
Yeah.
So just bring it back. So basically, this undo what they've done in the past few years. Even the touch bar is gone. They brought back pure physical keys for the top row. So the escape function keys are all physical keys.
No, okay. The good thing is Apple is. I think another highlight is, hey, Apple is making Apple is listening to people.
Yeah. So that's a progress.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, guys, I have been converted. I was a PC guy. And I've been I've been like dissing Apple and saying, hey, you know what? I don't like the Mac because it's overcomplicated, pricey, only for posers and stuff like that, right? But, I'm in the ecosystem now. It's because, number one, last year with iOS, iPadOS, I think it started with the 14 or 13, I can't remember. They start opening up a lot of these features. You can do a lot more things.
And then they also enhance their ecosystem as well. It's so cohesive to work around with multiple iOS devices.
And they've introduced things like widgets. Okay, I don't use it so much, but I see a lot of people are into it, and that's cool. And there's this ecosystem, right? You have AirDrop, you have Sidecar, you have iCloud, Keychain. It's so polished.
Yep.
The closest competitor would be Samsung, but Samsung only has mobile. They don't have computers. They do have TV though, so they're kind of like they have that niche there, and that's good. Other than that, so Apple's doing great. I think they're really comfortable where they are.
And also another feature I love is universal control. It's not out yet, but it's coming soon, whereby I can just use one set of input device, like keyboard, to control your Mac, your iPad
iPhone
from this one device.
Yeah.
So that's pretty neat. So I love how Apple is bringing the family products together in such a very seamless way. Like why didn't other manufacturers think about it?
Yeah, why can't you do that, right? I mean, why can't I don't know, why can't they do that?
And then another since we're talking about operating systems, right?
Yep.
I think one of the biggest
lowlights,
Windows 11, Microsoft. This is probably the most disastrous.
Okay, what is the
launch.
Story with Windows 11? Okay, I gotta admit, because I'm a Mac guy, I don't really pay attention to what's going on in the Windows universe. So what's going on?
I think the best person to talk about this is Raymond. He's not here, but to sum it up, it's basically quite disastrous because, okay, first of all, in terms of design,
first they launched the thing.
Yeah. And then the design looks like, hey, that looks like a Mac. So instead of the start button on the left and then the icons and all that, it's all centered. Like, looks like a Mac dock.
Okay.
And then when they launched, right, there's a lot of issues with compatibility. So first they're like, only certain devices will get Windows 11. So if you don't make the cut, you can't upgrade.
Not certain devices, only certain specs can run Windows 11.
Yep.
And then everybody was asking like, what the hell? What's going to happen to me? Do I need to buy a new computer? What's going on?
Yep. And then after that, they sort of backpedal like, okay, we're going to let you use it, but we reserve the right to void your warranty or you don't have any customers. So it's so iffy. lah, And then another one is that these bugs with certain apps, with certain processors, like even AMD, there's apparently a bug whereby you can't get the maximum performance. So a lot of people notice that after you upgrade to Windows 11, so like, hey, what's going on? How can I get worse performance on Windows 11? And turns out that there's some issues that can be solved through the firmware, luckily. So it's quite disastrous. It's like back to back. I mean, why can't they solve this in the beta release? Because you have all the time to sort these issues out. And there's also some security requirement that's on the motherboard, so certain device can't upgrade because of this. So it's quite disastrous.
How did they screw this up?
I have no idea.
Like, what is the reason? Like, I'm sure they are doing all these things not because, okay, let's just mess up with all our customers because, Windows 10, nobody uses it. Like, no, right? This is like a really important product for Microsoft because this is something that everybody uses. Everybody.
And how many years was it from Windows 11, right? I mean, you have all the time to make it a polished product. All I can say is that they just make Apple look so good lah.
I mean, for me, like the interesting thing that I would like to find out is like what is the thing that they wanted to achieve that they made all these problems?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you are like a multi-billion, I think close to $1 trillion company, and how could you mess this up, right?
Yeah. The most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk because you have your users, you have your developers, you have your manufacturers, vendors, and like, why can't you sort this out?
Yeah, your ecosystem, right?
At the very least, right, you can sort out your Surface devices.
No, I think it's not because they can't sort it out. I think it's because, okay, we're doing this because we want to achieve something bigger down the line.
Yep.
So what is that something bigger? We don't know.
I don't know. I got a feeling maybe it's like, we just need to release a new Windows just for the sake of it. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. Because you got to release an update like every other time because it's like okay, security patches you can send.
You still get
send
updates,
every other time lah. So I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll find out next year. Yep. So at the end of the day, what is the story? Can all PC now use Windows 11?
Even if you can, I suggest you hold off because there could be issues with apps and all that. So even like for manufacturers, right? Don't upgrade unless it's prompted by your manufacturer. Because like even like certain brands,
try the beta. Yeah. Don't try to be smart.
Yeah, because like, even like devices like Huawei, which I'm using right now, they actually have like a tentative schedule. Like, this is going to be pushed in 2022, not this year. So I would say that hold on if you can. Don't make the jump just yet if this is your bread and butter device.
But come to think of it, right? I think this year, 2021, is not a good year for operating systems lah. I think Apple had some problems with their what is the operating system called?
I forgot the names, man.
Mojave.
Mojave is old, right?
Monterey.
Yeah, Monterey. Yes.
So there were, I think, some issues there with like bugs and security stuff. And I think when they first released it, it made some crashes. I can't remember, but yeah. After that, then they issued some release. iOS had a lot of problems like call drop lah.
But that's only for the iPhone 12 and 13 though.
Yeah, but it's like a release. It's like a firmware release. So there was issues there. So don't know. Maybe it's because of the pandemic. Everybody's working from home. Blah blah blah. Okay, so that's into the gadgets and gizmos, processors. The other big thing is in automotive, in local automotive, technology speaking, right? So you were saying like what, safety equipments are now cheaper or something?
Yeah. So used to be, like in terms of helping to keep our roads safe, right? One of the aspects is how to introduce advanced safety features because there's a lot of advanced stuff, like for example autonomous braking, lane keep assist and all that. But those are normally found on more expensive vehicles, premium cars. So now with the new Myvi, which was launched in November, they're making all this high-tech safety stuff standard across the range. Like for example, the ASA, the advanced safety assist features, which includes lane keep assist and also autonomous emergency braking. That's standard across the range, except for the last one, but it's available as an option for 2,000 ringgit. So for 47,000 ringgit, you can get a car with these features
that you don't necessarily get in a car that's more expensive, right?
Yeah, normally I think the cheapest option back then was the Hyundai Ioniq. I think it was like 100,000 ringgit. There was a hybrid car with all the safety features.
With AEB, auto distance, and things
cruise
like
control, all that. And the new Myvi, especially for the top spec model, which costs about 58,000 ringgit, for the first time ever, the Myvi comes with cruise control. And not just a regular cruise control, but has a adaptive cruise control, which means it can keep a safe distance between you and the car in front. And it will steer for you to make sure that it's in lane. Of course, you can't hands off all the time.
It's not autonomous.
It's not fully autonomous.
Lane keep assist.
Yeah, so it's like semi-autonomous. So in case you get distracted, it will like slowly adjust the steering, steer you back to the middle of the lane, and that's pretty cool.
It can also keep the distance automatically to a speed of 30 kilometers an hour.
Minimum 30 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, so any lower you'll have to take over.
Yeah,
it's not autonomous, but yeah, I mean like all these super advanced premium safety features, convenient features are available in a car that is less than 50,000 ringgit.
Yep, I would say that's a
major advancement.
Major advancement, and hopefully that sets example to other car manufacturers, because Proton refresh the Aris and Persona. They're quite a nice additions. Like you have nicer looking seats and all that.
It's mostly cosmetic.
Mostly cosmetic, but on the safety front, that has been quite quiet. Yeah,
I mean, the Iris has been around for how many years?
I think the step platform itself is about close to 8 years.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I think that you can, that horse is dead or something like that. You can't beat a dead horse, or stop beating the horse, or something like that. Like, it's dead. I mean, like, it's old.
But in terms of driving, the driving feel and all that, I think it's still better. It's
better.
It's better.
For sure.
In terms of performance, I think it's better, especially 1.6. Sure. Yeah, definitely for sure.
For sure. Yeah, but
keep up with the times, man. I mean, safety features is crucial. We should set a standard.
Yeah. In general, a lot of this advanced technology stuff is coming down to the masses. In fact, the other thing I would like to highlight with regards to automotive is electricity is mainstream now, right?
EVs.
Electric vehicles is mainstream now. Number one, thank you to the government for providing like a tax exemption, like no tax.
Yeah. No excise duty.
Yeah.
No import duty. Even the road tax is free.
Yeah. For EVs, right? For EVs. Full EVs, right? So that's like a huge motivation for the automotive segments to start bringing in all these cars. We see that happening, I think, in the mid 2000 teens, right? I think it was 2018, 2015, somewhere around there, where they had hybrid tax exemption, and a lot of manufacturers start bringing like hybrids, and when you buy a hybrid at that time, it's huge, because here's the thing: we don't know how long this exemption. This exemption is gonna happen, and if you buy a car today to make the most out of that, and then it stops, right? All these super advanced cars, the technology is still okay, it's gonna either maintain their price or it's gonna increase in price.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah. So one big highlight for me is the Hyundai Kona, the full EV vehicle that's coming to Malaysia, or that's already available in Malaysia. I'm not sure whether it's the cheapest full EV you can get. I think
it is the cheapest at the moment.
What about the old Renault, the Leaf, and the
Leaf is about 180.
So the Kona is what?
The Kona, the cheapest one is
170,
140 something, 149.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What about does Renault still sell the Twingo?
I don't see that anymore.
Twingo. Zoe. Yeah.
I don't think they bring that anymore.
Tweezy or something? Was it the Tweezy?
The two-door one?
Yeah.
I think they stopped that already.
The like bicycle thing that's going on.
It's like a motorcycle on the roof, right? I don't think they're selling that anymore.
So okay, EVs are super cheap now. Less than $200.
Not, I would say super cheap.
Relatively speaking, not $200. Less than 200,000 K, you can buy a full electric vehicle. With all the bells and whistles, and the kicker for me is that it doesn't have range anxiety. Even the cheapest one you can get like 300K.
Yeah, about 300-ish.
Which is fair.
Yeah,
I mean, which is like a normal car, normal
like
Myvi or something. Yeah, and the more expensive one you can go 400.
Yep.
So that can take you to Penang,
possibly.
Yeah.
And then I think what this marks is that it actually spurs growth in the EV segment. So I think industry players will be more motivated to roll out more infrastructure.
Yeah.
At the same time, this will also attract more car manufacturers to bring the EV cars.
Yeah. I think this is going to kickstart the adoption of electric vehicles in Malaysia. Obviously, when you talk about electric vehicles, like people talk about like Tesla. Here's the thing. Tesla, okay lah. I mean, yeah, it's fast. It has all these autonomous features and all that. But don't get duped by the Americans. You know, they show it, but it's in America. Infra is different. Roads are different. The way people drive is different. In Malaysia, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it would work on our highways, but I don't recommend it. And Tesla is not really like. I mean, if you're gonna buy a car that's gonna cost $1 million, even with tax exemptions and stuff, it doesn't make sense. It's not going to drive electrification and EV adoption in the country. Players like Renault, Hyundai, I don't know, maybe to an extent, if you're talking about like premium Mini and BMW, those are the places that's going to drive this forward because it's chicken and egg, right? If there are more electric cars on the road, there'll be more charging stations. I think Petronas is ready to go. I think they are one of the first, not one, I think they're still the only petrol company that has EV charging stations at their petrol stations.
Yep.
No other company has that. I think that's good.
Yep.
So that's a major highlight. My next car, hopefully, is going to be an EV if I can afford one. And I'm happy because there are options. I can get the Kona. It's not bad.
Yep.
Right?
For me, I'm still have that range anxiety. For me, if I'm going to get a new car, I'll probably go for a hybrid car. And I think what's that interests me the most this year is the new Honda City RS Hybrid IMMD.
Yes.
So that has a new hybrid system whereby you have like 3 different modes. You have like a pure EV mode, you have an engine mode, and you have like the actual hybrid mode. So that hybrid mode, right, instead of having the petrol car to move the car, it actually powers the generator to produce power for the electric motor. So you're running on the electric motor, and that has 253 Newton meters of torque. So that's pretty insane.
Yeah, it's for a 1.5 liter small car. That's a lot of torque.
Yeah.
And that's cool because you can get it for what, less than 100,000
It's still 100,000. It's still 100. It's still 100. It's like, I think 106 like that.
The RS.
There's a hatchback version that's coming out soon. We don't know the prices yet. Hopefully,
no, I think that's gonna be more expensive. I think it's about 110. I think. But yeah, all you young people like me, when I got my first car, it was like manual shift. The most advanced safety feature is ABS.
You got one airbag that's like an advanced safety feature back then.
2 airbags premium.
Yes.
4 is like crazy. Now I'm so excited because like the Honda City RS Hybrid, right? We tried the Ioniq before, and we were driving it like a hoon, right? And we got 1,000 kilometers from a full tank. With this new hybrid technology that has like engine that's powering a motor, a generator that's powering a motor. I mean, with fuel prices going up, you get like 3 ringgit for the 97 now, and 280 for the 95. This is huge. This is a major highlight.
It's like 190 at that.
Still shit.
Yeah, so because it's still subsidized, please keep it that way. But the hybrid, right, it has a rated fuel economy of 27 kilometers per liter. 27!
So if you assume, okay, I don't know how many liters they have in the tank,
40.
Probably like 40.
Yep.
So what's that in maths?
I think give and take, I think it could be about 1,000 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. I mean, car prices, they kind of, I don't want to say they're getting cheaper, but you're getting more
for your money.
Right? Okay. So I think we've covered pretty much everything. Just one more highlight for me is that in general, 2021 has shown that we are now moving into the future. We are kind of like shifted, right? We're kind of like past this wall where before we had to go to the office, we had to physically be in the office, we have to like physically be in the same room to have a meeting, we have to physically do things to get things done, if that makes sense to you guys. But I think we've passed that barrier in a way that where now more companies are more comfortable to offer hybrid working options for their employees. Flexible working hours is now a reality. It's no longer like, oh, in the future we're gonna do
teleconference.
Okay, whatever lah. Where it means that you don't go to your office, you work at home. Telecommuting.
Oh, okay.
and we're doing that here in Soi Jinjiao. We have hybrid working model. We have flexible hours. You can come in the office anytime. We have meetings in front of the computer. The downside of that, work-life balance is kind of like suffering. So a lot of people are also don't now see the blur, or don't see the distinction between where does my work start and where does my home start. So that's why the hybrid working thing is happening. So I see that becoming a trend after the pandemic, after COVID-19, when it becomes a norm, when we go into the endemic stage. This is going to stay. Meeting in front of the computer, where before it was like, no, I want a physical. I don't need to. I want to see everybody's faces. Now, just being in front of the computer is the norm, and I think that's great. Yes, it has its downside. I think companies and people will start refining that, and it'll become the norm. The other thing is, I'm seeing like finally QR has a purpose.
Yeah, cashless transactions.
Yeah, we do it now. We see do it now as something that it wasn't launched this year, but we see that adoption is driven very much this year with cashless. QR code as like a payment method, QR code as like a scanning method for the MySejahtera, that's normal. But if you go to restaurants now, you see you don't get the menu. You don't even have to go to the counter, or the host doesn't even have to come and send you like the credit card machine. You can pay everything by scanning a QR code, ordering, and you're done. And I feel that that's more convenient. It's more enjoyable. It's faster, so that the servers don't have to spend time to wait if you don't know what you're gonna order. And I see that becoming the trend in the future.
And going back to Do It Now QR, right? And it's great that this year finally we see all the major players have integration with Do It Now QR.
Yeah.
So this includes Grab, your Touch and Go, your Boost and all that. All of them have Do It Now QR. So if you see a Do It Now QR code, just scan, no problems, no issues.
Yeah, and e-wallet adoption is huge. Oh, speaking about e-wallet, the other highlight, I don't know whether this is a highlight. I think, I'll give you the mic to talk about this. Is NFT.
Oh, yes. So NFT, this is a huge thing in terms in the crypto.
It's a trend.
So it's like if you're not familiar with NFT, you can see a lot of news about artists making millions of bucks selling NFT. So NFT is like in the simplest way, it's like a digital copy of your artwork. So some could be just purely digital. So we have like artists like Red Hong Yi. She made like $300,000 from her first NFT, but that came with like a physical plaque of her artwork.
A physical copy of the digital version.
Yeah, and then we also have a graffiti artist like Cartoon making like $1.6 million from his first set, and even our local artist Nim Wee, he also sold like 4 million ringgit worth of NFTs in conjunction with his new album launch.
Red Hong Yi is also local.
Yep. These are all Malaysians.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think people are more aware of crypto. I still feel that it's in the fringes. NFT is just another thing.
It's very hard to defend it because it's like a whole different concept of ownership. Because when we think about ownership, right, we think about something physical, something you can put in your wallet. I can hold my hands.
Yes, I own this computer.
Yeah, I think the first news that came to our mind was someone sold the first tweet.
Yep.
As an NFT. It's like, how does it work? I mean, I
can't take that tweet and put it in my pocket.
Yeah, and that tweet is
copyable. Like I can screen cap it and like.
Yeah, and it's on Twitter, right? I mean, what's stopping Twitter from deleting a tweet? And do I still own it? How much is it worth?
You own the history.
Yeah, so like I think like what Raymond said very nicely is that NFT is like holding the receipt of what you've purchased, something like that, right?
Yeah, it's like the receipt of what you bought. Yeah. So I have the receipt here. Whatever happens to that thing, I don't know, but I got the receipt.
Yeah, and then like for example, NFTs like you can buy like a digital copy of it, but you may not necessarily have the right to use it or reproduce it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. So in a way, in the simplest term, is that I would say that it's like you own like a digital copy of something, but it's not just
yours.
It's not fully yours, but it's like because of the scarcity and the uniqueness, that's why there's value. So it's like you said, like a hype also.
If it's something that's so difficult to explain, right? It's us. It's us, man.
You just don't get it yet. I mean,
no, it's us. No.
You just don't get it yet.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, we have a video to explain about NFT.
Okay, here's the thing, right? If you listen to like maybe your old long lost friend, right? Hey bro, how are you? A long time no see you. Come let's see Amcha, right? And then you know, okay lah, I'm gonna see this guy. I haven't seen him so long. And then you sit down. Bro, actually, I remember you because I think you're the best for this business opportunity. It's like, fuck. And then he's trying to explain it. It's like, you don't understand what it is. Yeah, because this is so far ahead, bro. You need to invest in it now because it's so mind breaking. You know, I mean,
but nobody's doing that for NFT. No one's pushing you that. It's up to you. If you don't get it, you don't buy it. Nobody's pushing it. That's different.
So we see who is invested in NFT. We see who is invested in NFT. Okay lah, maybe not me. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna lose millions. I don't know. But I don't feel safe. It's like this thing. Okay, we saw this happening, not in NFT, but if you notice, in the health industry, there's this company called Theranos. It's like a company that was that said that okay, you only need like a finger prick of blood,
a few drops,
to do like a full blood test, and nobody could understand how the technology worked, but everybody wanted in on it because it seems like a good idea, and everybody's like, hey, you know what? You should get in on it. You should invest in it. You should invest in it. Now the company is no longer number one. It's all not true. The technology didn't even exist, and they just kept on telling everybody like, hey, you know what? It might work, but it didn't.
That's nothing to do with NFT, dude.
No, I feel like the narrative is kind of like the same. You go into something that you don't really understand.
I mean, if you don't understand, just don't go for it. Nobody's pushing you to do it.
I don't know. Okay, what do you guys think? Is there anything else you want to add, Alex?
Well, like I said, we have a video episode on NFT about what it's all about. I can check it out in the YouTube channel.
Okay, yeah, it's a really cool video, guys. If it's out before this show, we'll put in a link somewhere, or we'll put it in the description. Yep. So any other highlights?
I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered everything. We covered the phones. We covered the new Intel chip. MacBook Pro making a comeback as a proper creator device. Safety for cars is more accessible right now. We got new tech. EVs. I think potential for EVs for Malaysia is huge. And
digital life.
Digital life. Yep. So I think that's pretty
and
much
NFTs, it. Okay, so that is it. That is the wrap up show for let's talk about wrap up for 2021. We're gonna come back strong and better in 2022. You guys enjoy the holidays. Take a long, well-deserved break. Take care. Stay healthy. And we need your ideas. So let us know what you want us to talk about in the future episodes, and if there's anything you think we can improve on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is me, Amin.
And this is Alex.
Have a good new year, guys, and take care.
Bye.